Hey, everybody. Um, so the last game of the Braves series, Mariners Braves series, just ended. Um, and I'm hopping on here really fast just to say, yay, that felt good. Um, this was a rough homestand, right? We got swept by the Royals. Um, and then Atlanta comes to town and I was meeting this with a lot of gritted teeth and fingers crossed. This is, the Braves are the best team in baseball right now. And we took 2 out of 3. We gave the Braves their first series loss. This is baseball. This is baseball. I'm now convinced um, that the S on that uh, wreath there in the background, I have to make sure it's turned so that you can see the S and it's not backwards. And that's what keeps them from winning and losing. So it's all about me, and I apologize for all the losses. Um, so it's baseball, you guys. And I'm not gonna lie, after that Royals series, there was a lot of really negative talk. And I understand. I know what it's like to be a Mariners fan. I understand it. It's really hard. And also, I part of the reason I wanted to do this podcast community is because eh, I don't like the ugliness of some of the fandom that's out there. I guess I look at being a fan differently than others. And I don't really have judgment on that. I just don't like it personally. It hurts my heart when people say nasty things that are pretty personal against some of these players. I can't. It's really hard for me. That's what gets me riled up. That's what gets me angry. Um, that's why I do what I'm doing over here because you know, this is a long season and a lot of our guys are already hurting. We've got Brash out, we've got Spire out now. Cal was, I don't know about all of you, but that was making me really nervous. I'm still nervous. He's not catching yet. Um, I have really staticky hair today. Sorry, I just hopped on here and did not care how I looked. But not that you care about the static in my hair. Um, I'm a little worried about Cal, but here's the reality of it. Cal's been playing like crazy for a long period of time, and it makes sense. He's getting older and he's been playing consistently. I know he's still a baby, but he's been playing consistently. It makes sense that he might need a little bit of a break, give him a little bit of space so that he can continue to play at the level he plays at. He's a badass. There's no arguing that. So, and we would like him to stay that way. So I'll take him DHing for a while. Um, yeah, this was, I understand that some of our gameplay has still been complicated to watch. But the reality of it is that we beat the Braves 2 out of 3, and they are the best team in baseball. And this is, to me, how the Mariners always play. We get a team that is not great, and they sweep us. And then we get the best team in baseball, and we take the series. And I've always felt this way though about the Mariners, that I was nervous going into this Brave series, definitely nervous about it. And yet there was a part of me that was like, um, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? We're not going to beat the best team in baseball. Where with the Royals, it just felt like a kick in the gut all the time. Nothing against the Royals. But we're going to play Chicago, the White Sox, and that makes me nervous. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? Yeah. So I just wanted to hop on here today because I didn't hop on yesterday because I wanted to kind of let this series end and see what happened. Because if I'd hopped on yesterday, I would have only had Monday's game, and then we lost last night. And so here we are. We took the series. Go Mariners. We're not back at 500 yet. Hopefully we will be after this next road trip. We thought the road was our problem, and then we had a great road trip, and then we came home and didn't have a great home trip, but we did take the first series from the Braves this year. So I don't know, lots of feelings, right? This is baseball. This is what it looks like to be a Mariners fan, and that's what this community's for. So again, I'm just here talking to myself right now, but maybe at some point somebody catches this and goes, "Hey, I want to talk about some of this." I'm not talking about statistics. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just talking about what it feels like to be a Mariners fan and doing it in a way that is like, yeah, it's hard sometimes. I'm not taking any of that away. This is hard stuff to be a Mariners fan. And I genuinely love these guys and will always be a Mariners fan, win or lose. I want to win just as much as everybody else wants to win. And I know that we can't win them all. um, and I think, I've been listening to a lot of podcasters and people on the internet talking about how we all thought the Mariners were going to come out of the gate a little bit differently this year. But I think we think that a lot. And they're the Mariners. And, you know, um, Lyle and TJ at Marine Layer Pod, who I've talked about before, go check them out if you haven't. Especially if you really want like good baseball statistics and that kind of stuff, they are great at that. They were talking about how they don't think there's anybody else that's going to win the AL West. I mean, the AL West is not great, so they still think it's us, and I think they're probably right. Baseball is baseball, so we'll see. I'm feeling all the feelings every single day we have a game, and I feel all the feelings on a day like tomorrow when we don't have a game. I don't understand why they don't play baseball every day. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm just saying that to be sarcastic. They need days off. I want them to have days off, especially when they have these road trips. But what do you do on the day without baseball? I don't know how I get through winter. I still don't know how I do it every year, because I don't know how I get through one day without baseball. But we'll get through it, and we'll start a new series on Friday, and we keep on keeping on. So go Mariners. We beat the Braves, and you never know. Each one of these games can come back and help us or cause us problems as the season continues. And, but Julio's hitting home runs, and Josh looks like he's hitting again. And, Munoz is not our typical Munoz, but that doesn't mean anything to me either. Ferrer's been fantastic. A lot of baseball to be played. I would like Matt and Gabe back, though. Very much so. So, and Bryce, and I don't think did I talk since Emerson Hancock had that amazing game? I don't think I did. So, we've got a lot of good stuff happening on this team. It just all needs to come together at the same time, which is baseball. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to get back to work today. I'm going to try to keep that S in the right direction, because if I do, they're going to win every single game the rest of this year. It's all the power of that. So, all right, you guys, I hope you're all having the best available week, and I'll hop back on here probably next week sometime after the weekend series, and hopefully we're still on a winning streak, maybe over 500. All right, take care, everybody. Go Mariners. Bye.